Fair use. Grief. One day at a time. 365 Meditations to Help You Heal After Loss by Alan D. Wolfett, PhD. October 7th. Rain usually makes me feel mellow. Curl up in the corner. Time. Slow down. Smell the furniture. Today, it just makes me feel wet. A quote from Jeff Melvoin. I bet you could fill in these blanks with lots of usuallys. Usually makes me feel, but now that I'm grieving, it makes me feel blank. Our grief has a way of affecting our every experience. We can't count on things we used to enjoy being enjoyable now. And some things that were neutral to us before are now minefields of tender emotion. Have you heard the phrase casting a pall over everything? The word pall literally means a cloth spread over a coffin, hearse, or tomb, or a dark cloud or covering of smoke or dust. Our grief can cast a pall over everything. It can make most anything we encounter seem painful, gloomy, or just blah. We're mired in the pall. But if we keep mourning, the pall, thank goodness, will begin to lift. The meditation reads, My grief is casting a pall over everything. For now, this is normal and necessary. October 8th. The angels are always near to those who are grieving, to whisper to them that their loved ones are safe in the hand of God. A quote from Eileen Elias Freeman. The archangel Azrael is a figure in various religions and cultures. Essentially, he is portrayed as an angel who accompanies people who have died to heaven, then returns to earth to comfort those left behind. I am open to the mystery of angels. How lovely it is to think that our loved ones, as they lay dying, were taken by the hand and shepherded to heaven. And how comforting it is to think that we can turn to an unseen but present angel whenever we need help in our grief. Believing in angels is a form of trusting that all will be well. As our intermediaries, angels connect the here with the hereafter. They embody our faith. They are couriers of hope. What's not to like? The meditation reads, Whether or not I believe in angels, I can choose to believe that all will be well. October 9th. Tonight all the hells of young grief have opened up again. The mad words, the bitter resentment, the fluttering in the stomach, the nightmare, reality, the wallowed in tears. For in grief nothing stays put. One keeps on emerging from a phase, but it always recurs, round and round. Everything repeats. A quote from C.S. Lewis. If young or new love is exquisite, then young grief is torturous. They balance each other on the seesaw of human experience, heaven and hell. But even after we have survived and emerged from the very early days and weeks of our grief, we sometimes find ourselves revisiting young grief's intensely painful thoughts and feelings. The hurt and frustration can fill us with despair. Healing in grief is a slow and spiraling process. We must trust that active mourning will, over time, soften even our most intense grief. Only with distant hindsight might we be able to see that each time we spiraled back on a certain thought or feeling, it was actually getting a tiny bit easier, though it may not have seemed so at the time. The meditation reads, "In grief, everything repeats, but more softly, like a strident drum beat that ever so slowly quiets and fades into the background." October 10th. I've had the kind of day no quote can fix. A quote from Rachel E. Goodrich. This book attempts to provide a daily smidgen of compassion and hope to grievers because of its one day at a time format. I offer a new thought or idea each day, but something concise so it's not overwhelming. Some days, though, this concise profoundness in the form of quotes and meditations can seem overly glib. Our grief can't be gathered, corralled, and tamed like that. It's much too big and overwhelming to be mollified by a few clever words of empathy and advice. If you ever pick up this book to read the day's thoughts and find them puny in the face of what you're experiencing, know that I understand. Set the book aside and share your thoughts and feelings with a good listener instead. The meditation reads, "The answer to my grief doesn't fit on a refrigerator magnet. I can't ignore words of wisdom whenever I feel like it." October 11th. There are genuine mysteries in the world that mark the limits of human knowing and thinking. Wisdom is fortified, not destroyed, by understanding its limitations. A quote from Mortimer J. Adler. I love to learn. In my work with grieving people and grief caregivers, as well as in my other passions, I am always eager to learn and grow in my understanding. I never think of myself as an expert, but instead a devoted student. And yet I also know that I can't know everything. Not only is there not enough time for me to learn everything, not everything is knowable by human beings. One only has to watch the videos online that depict Earth's place in the solar system, then the galaxy, then the universe, to realize that there is so very much beyond our current understanding and mastery. To me, human life and death are still mysteries, not so much the hows as the whys. We as a species can only ever be wise to a point. What might lie beyond is a thrilling exercise in imagination and faith. Acknowledging our cognitive limitations opens us up to a whole universe of possibilities. The meditation reads, "When I cannot understand, I can embrace standing under the mystery." October 12th. Those who have gone down are the only ones who understand up. A quote from Richard Rohr. We understand down. Some days and weeks we inhabit down. And there is no deeper down than the grief that follows the death of someone precious to us. While down is painful, it is also normal and necessary sometimes. Yet from the depths of our down, we can still look up. We can remember times of love and joy. We can connect with others we love and who love us back. And we can schedule moments of levity, entertainment, and distraction into our down days, such as watching a movie or playing with a pet. We understand up. We can invite some up into our down. And we can also hold on to hope for more up in our futures. The meditation reads, I understand down, but that is because I also understand up. I will give myself up breaks in the middle of my downs. October 13th. Never forget that God is your friend, and like all friends, He longs to hear what's happening in your life. Good or bad, whether it's been full of sorrow or anger, and even when you're questioning why terrible things have to happen. A quote from Nicholas Sparks. Sometimes we mistakenly believe that our grief dishonors our faith. After all, if we have faith, we shouldn't be sad about death. In fact, we should rejoice. Our religious training or affiliation may only reinforce this misconception. But God made us to love, which means He also made us to grieve. And if He is our friend, He will compassionately bear witness to all of our human thoughts and feelings. Having a relationship with God means we can take everything to Him, including questioning our faith. So let's be clear on this point. Having faith and grieving are not mutually exclusive. Even if we believe that one day we are to be reunited with our loved ones who have died, we still miss their presence here on earth. The meditation reads, I can have faith and grieve. I can also question my faith. God understands and accepts all of me. Share, like, subscribe, and remember that you are not alone.